Milwaukee Business Journal is part of the network of 40 papers dedicating tomorrow's edition to small businesses surviving COVID-19. Mark Cass is back with us now, as I mentioned, and joining him is Evan Hughes and Pat McQuillan of Central Standard Craft Distillery in Milwaukee. Their business was part of this project. And Mark, I had a chance to look at some of the stories you're doing here, an incredible undertaking, but it's really remarkable to see what's happening with small businesses. What did you see? Was there a thread in all of these stories?
I think there was, and that is, we looked at 8 of them in the Milwaukee area. We looked at hundreds of them throughout the country. And the thing I think we really saw was the impact was unbelievably, it was quick, it was painful, but I also think we saw some hope. You saw firms like the one we have with us today, Central Standard, who tried new things that were successful. So I want this to be seen as a story of hope, as a story of survival. All these firms, all 8 firms we're looking at here are still operating, and I expect to be operating long term, but they really had a struggle and they really had to make changes.
So tell us about your guests here. We have Evan
and Pat McMillan, who operate Central Standard. And I guess, Evan, I'd ask you first, kind of what was your first reaction, and kind of how did you move so quickly to actually try some new products?
Yeah, we were, like all small businesses, even large businesses, we were really forced into this very quickly. We had to make some really tough decisions early on. For us, we started getting some people from the community reaching out about disinfectant spray. So we made the decision very early to pivot to making disinfectant spray that we were donating. We donated to about local nonprofits and organizations here, which we're really proud of. And then we made the pivot again to hand sanitizer, which we're still making, donating, and selling.
It's crazy. I've asked a lot of these firms if they had plans for this kind of thing, anything like that. But since it happened so fast, how did you move so quickly, Evan?
Yeah, we had no plans of making hand sanitizer. However, we've quickly become experts in it. We looked in our warehouse and we had high proof vodka, and we knew that we could be a solution for a lot of these organizations. We had no idea what the need was going to be. We never thought it would be this big, and we never thought we'd be making as much as we have been. So we were fortunate that we were able to pivot
Evan and
fast.
Pat, I imagine they don't teach this in business school, but in business schools, they will now be teaching how to survive a pandemic. Pat, let me ask you, how important is it to show how small businesses were able to survive, how they are meeting this challenge?
Well, I think it's important to note that every entrepreneur and small business out there is they're scrappy, and everybody wants to pull together and be a community supporter. And that's exactly what we wanted to do is when we saw that there was a need and we saw the ability to pivot, we made every effort to do so and to be able to get through this and, keep the community safe as best we could, employ our employees and keep them on as best we could. So it's been great to see how we've all pulled together.
So, Mark, I think pivot is the key word here. Is that what we'll see in these stories?
I think you'll see that. I think you'll see survival. I think you'll see hard choices. We had a number of our owners, Charles, who told us about how they had to make choices between, earning money and actually laying off staff. We had one firm who said that they only laid off a handful of employees, even though they lost 90% of their revenue, just because it was that important to them. So I think that people have to make choices, and they're trying to survive through this. But now, hopefully, as things open up again and things start to recover, it'll work. But, I don't think the story's over yet.
Oh, I agree. I agree with you. So thank you all for participating and helping us understand how you're doing this. Here's a look at that front cover of the Milwaukee Business Journal, Small Business Big Mission, and it is out tomorrow. Great work by Mark and his team, so get a chance to read that. The Milwaukee Business Journal is our partner in covering local news right here in Milwaukee. See all of their work at bizjournals.com/Milwaukee.